The address led me to an industrial district just beyond the arts neighborhood, an area of converted warehouses and forgotten loading docks gradually being reclaimed by the creative community. Streetlights here were sparse, their glow barely penetrating the evening fog rolling in from the bay. "You're sure this is right?" Zoe peered through our shared rideshare window, skepticism evident. She'd insisted on accompanying me after I'd spent the day alternating between anticipation and anxiety. "That's the number." I pointed to faded paint on a brick building. No gallery signage, no obvious entrance, just a weathered blue door illuminated by a single bulb. "Very underground art scene," Zoe observed. "Either we're about to discover brilliance or get murdered." "Thanks for the encouragement." The driver pulled away, leaving us on the empty sidewalk. A distant siren wailed, then faded. "Last chance to back out," Zoe offered. I approached the blue door instead. A small card beside it read simply, "Lighthouse, tonight 8 to 10, in minimalist typography. The door opened to my tentative knock. A narrow stairwell led upward, soft ambient music and voices drifting down. "Definitely murder," Zoe whispered, but followed me up. The stairway opened to a transformed space that defied the building's decrepit exterior. The loft stretched the entire floor, original industrial windows spanning floor to ceiling along one wall. Track lighting highlighted photographs arranged throughout the open space. Perhaps 20 people mingled, holding wine glasses, engaged in quiet conversation. "Okay, not murder," Zoe conceded. "Legitimately cool." I scanned the room for Marcus, stomach fluttering nervously. "Eliot," his voice came from behind us. "You found it." I turned. Marcus wore a simple black sweater and dark jeans, understated but intentional, like everything about him. He held 2 glasses of something amber-colored. "This place is hidden in plain sight," I said, accepting the offered drink. "Sparkling cider," he clarified. "My roommate Zoe," I introduced. She insisted on coming to ensure I wasn't lured to my doom. "Reasonable precaution," Marcus nodded seriously. "Though I usually save doom luring for second meetings." Zoe grinned, clearly reassessing him. "This space is amazing." "It belongs to Professor Chen from the film department," Marcus explained. "She lets students use it for experimental exhibitions. My turn this month." "These are all yours?" I gestured toward the photographs. "A personal project separate from my degree work." Something in his expression suggested this distinction mattered significantly. "Feel free to look around. I should check on something, but I'll find you." As he moved away, Zoe elbowed me. "He's nothing like the pretentious art star I expected." "I know," I whispered, watching him greet an elderly couple warmly. "It's confusing." We began circulating through the exhibition. Unlike Marcus's technical showcase piece at Hamilton Gallery, these photographs were intimate, almost vulnerable. Each captured ordinary moments made extraordinary through composition and light. An elderly woman's hands folded over a book, weathered and dignified. A child's abandoned bicycle gleaming in summer twilight. A construction worker silhouetted against the sky, suspended between earth and emptiness. I stopped before a series that particularly captured me, 3 photographs of the same coastal lighthouse taken at different times. The first showed it brilliant in morning light, the second half obscured by storm clouds, the third barely visible in night fog, its beam cutting through darkness. Each perspective transformed the same subject entirely. "These are my favorites too," Marcus said, rejoining us. "That lighthouse is about 30 minutes north of here. It's been decommissioned for years. There's something melancholy about them," I observed. "Like they're remembering their purpose rather than fulfilling it." Marcus studied me with new interest. "That's exactly what I was exploring. Purpose versus function. Your technical approach is completely different from your gallery piece," I noted. "These feel personal." "They are." He hesitated. "The university showcase work is what's expected from a Westfield. These are just mine." The distinction made my heart twist unexpectedly. "They're extraordinary," I said, meaning it. "Especially this triptych." "Thank you." His voice held genuine appreciation. "I've been photographing that lighthouse for years. It changes constantly while remaining fundamentally itself. He paused. Your Rivera project explores similar territory, doesn't it? Permanence versus perception. I blinked, surprised by his insight. Yes, actually. How did you know? Your sketches, he shrugged. You're interested in how perspective alters reality. Speaking of altering reality, Zoe interrupted, glancing toward the entrance. Tyler just arrived and is giving us serious death glares. Tyler indeed stood near the doorway, expression troubled as he watched our conversation. Marcus sighed almost imperceptibly. Excuse me a moment, he said, moving toward his friend. Drama, Zoe whispered, not bothering to hide her curiosity. Stop it, I muttered, though I couldn't help watching their interaction. The conversation appeared tense despite their lowered voices. Tyler gesturing emphatically while Marcus listened with growing frustration. Let's keep looking at the photos, I suggested, pulling Zoe away to give them privacy. The exhibition's far corner featured work unlike the rest, stark black and white portraits of chemotherapy patients, dignity and vulnerability coexisting in their gazes. These images felt raw, immediate, captured by someone intimately familiar with the subject. Not what I expected, Zoe murmured. Me neither, I admitted, studying an image of a young woman, head wrapped in a scarf, laughing despite evident exhaustion. Those were from my second year, Marcus said, rejoining us alone. Something in his expression had changed, a guardedness replacing his earlier openness. A series called Resilience. They're powerful, I said, sensing I shouldn't ask their specific origin. Thank you. He glanced around the gallery. It's getting crowded. Want to see something not on display? Sure, I agreed, curiosity piqued. I'll mingle, Zoe volunteered with transparent matchmaking intentions. Take your time. Marcus led me through a door at the gallery's rear into a small office area. Large windows overlooked the bay, city lights reflected in dark water. A desk held photography equipment and an old-fashioned film development setup. My makeshift darkroom, he explained. Digital dominates now, but I still prefer film for personal work. Something about the physicality of the process. He opened a drawer, removing a folder. These are studies for a new series. Not ready for exhibition, but... The unfinished sentence hung between us. An admission that showing unpolished work required a different kind of trust. The photographs inside captured abandoned places reclaimed by nature, an old factory with saplings pushing through concrete floors, a vacant house with vines climbing interior walls, a forgotten railway platform carpeted with wildflowers. Life finding ways forward through abandoned structures, I observed. They're beautiful. Most people see decay, Marcus said, watching my reaction closely. You see resilience. Don't you? His expression softened. That's the point. Our eyes met, understanding passing between us that transcended casual acquaintance. For that moment, we weren't first year and senior, ordinary and extraordinary, just two artists recognizing something familiar in each other's perspective. The moment broke when Tyler appeared in the doorway, expression tight. Marcus, the Hendersons are asking about purchasing the Lighthouse series. Coming, Marcus nodded, carefully returning the photos to their folder. Duty calls. Thanks for showing me, I said, understanding his reluctance to leave. Would you want to? He began, then stopped himself, reconsidering. Never mind. Let's get back. Tyler watched this exchange with undisguised concern before they both returned to the gallery, leaving me momentarily alone with questions about what Marcus had almost asked. When I rejoined the main space, the atmosphere had shifted subtly. Marcus circulated professionally among guests, the personal openness he'd shown me now carefully tucked away behind polite smiles and articulate explanations of his work. Zoe appeared at my side with 2 fresh cider glasses. So? Good conversation? Interesting, I admitted. He's different when he's talking about his personal work. And apparently Tyler is determined to keep him focused on professional opportunities instead of freshman distractions, she observed, watching Tyler steer Marcus toward a well-dressed couple. I'm not a distraction, I protested quietly. Zoe's knowing look suggested otherwise. His exhibition's amazing, though. Totally different from what I expected. I nodded, eyes drawn again to the lighthouse triptych. There's more to him than his name. And apparently he thinks there's more to you than meets the eye too, she replied. He kept glancing your way during that whole conversation with the fancy couple. As if sensing our discussion, Marcus looked up, meeting my gaze across the room. Something in his expression, a brief unguarded moment before his attention returned to his patrons, made my chest tighten unexpectedly. I'd come tonight expecting to understand Marcus Westfield's photography better. Instead, I'd glimpsed the person behind both the art and the reputation, someone wrestling with expectations and identity in ways that resonated uncomfortably with my own struggles. The lighthouse photographs gleamed under gallery lights, changing perspectives of something constant, illuminating different truths depending on where you stood. Like Marcus himself,